All right. We've been back through the footage from yesterday's incident involving Silas Creed, and something new is showing up. People are reviewing the recordings independently and are starting to notice the same thing. Not about the event itself, but one person who was there. There's someone in the footage who appears during the incident. You can see them in some clips. In others, they're only partially visible. And in some, they don't appear at all, even though the rest of the scene matches perfectly. Now, normally that kind of thing would be explained by camera angles, timing, or missing frames. But that's not what we're seeing here. Because this happens across multiple recordings from different sources. CCTV, phones, archive streams, they don't agree on the one person. And Evan flagged something important in the background systems. There's a label showing up across different analysis tools tied to the same issue. It's not tied to one platform or one file. It keeps appearing wherever this person shows up inconsistently. We don't know what that label means yet, but it only shows up when the same individual cannot be matched clearly across different recordings of the same moment. So we're going to do something simple tonight. We're going to talk to people who were there, or people who have reviewed the footage closely, and try to answer one basic question. What is everyone actually seeing when they look at this person? All right, you're on GhostLine. Name and where are you calling from?
This is Aaron, calling from Denver, residential corridor.
Denver, all right. You've been looking at the footage we've been talking about?
Yeah, all of it. Probably too much of it, honestly.
That usually means you've either found something or lost your mind a little bit. Which one is it?
Well, neither, I don't think. I don't see what other people are seeing.
Okay, walk me through it properly. Start from the beginning. What footage did you look at?
So I pulled the CCTV first, the corner feed that covers the intersection. Then I checked two different phone recordings that were circulating, and then the archive stream that people kept referencing.
All right. That's already more diligence than most people manage.
Yeah, well, I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something obvious.
Where are you?
No, that's the thing. I kept expecting to find this gap everyone's talking about. The idea that there's someone in the footage who appears and disappears or doesn't match right across angles.
And?
There isn't one. Not in what I watched. There's a lot happening in the scene, sure. People moving, traffic, the incident itself. But everything lines up. Time-wise, spatially, it's consistent.
So when people say there's an extra individual in the frame, you're not seeing that at all?
No. Not even close. There's no figure that behaves like that. No presence that drops in and out. Nothing like that.
Okay, let me slow you down for a second, because I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing.
Sure.
People aren't just saying there's an obvious missing person standing in the middle of the frame. They're saying when they compare different recordings of the same moment, one person doesn't stay consistent across them. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they aren't. Sometimes they're half there, depending on the angle.
Yeah, I heard that. That's what I went looking for.
And you still don't see it?
No, because if that were happening, it would show up in frame differences, not just perception differences, and I don't find that. I think people are collapsing separate issues into one idea. Timing offsets, different upload qualities, that kind of thing.
So you're saying it's a normal recording problem being interpreted as something bigger?
Exactly. That's what it looks like from where I'm sitting.
Did you check multiple versions of the same clip?
Yeah, different uploads of the same feed, same results every time. Everything matches where it should match.
All right. Let me ask you something directly, because I've got a couple people on the other line who are very confident they can see this individual in the footage. Clear as day, not ambiguous, not interpretive. If I tell you that, what's your response?
And they're not looking at the same thing I am, or they're not comparing it correctly.
Not possible.
If the files are identical, then no. It shouldn't diverge like that. That would mean the data itself is inconsistent. And I didn't see that.
You sound pretty sure of that.
I am. Because I kept expecting to find the problem, and I didn't.
All right. Let me ask you one last thing before I let you go.
Okay.
When you watched it, frame by frame, did anything feel off to you? Not missing, not added, just off?
No. Everything looked normal. Too normal, maybe. Maybe that's it.
Too normal.
Yeah. Like, there wasn't anything to catch your attention in it at all. Which is probably why people are reaching for explanations.
Yeah, all right. Stay with us, Aaron. We've got someone next who's seeing something very different from what you just described. You're on GhostLine. Name and where are you calling from?
Hi, yeah, this is Lena. I'm calling from Philadelphia, Center City District.
All right, Lena, Center City. You've been listening. What are you seeing?
Okay, so I don't know what that last guy was watching, but I definitely see the person. Like immediately. They're there.
All right, walk me through it. Start with what footage you're looking at.
The corner CCTV first. Then I checked the phone clips people posted, and that archive stream everyone's passing around.
And across those, you're seeing the same individual.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They're there in all of them. Oh, kind of.
Kind of is doing a lot of work there. Explain that part.
Okay, so the CCTV angle, they're near the edge of the frame, just standing there when everything starts shifting. They're not in focus, but they're clearly part of the scene.
All right, and in the other footage?
They're still there, just not exactly the same.
Not the same how?
Like, I thought they were wearing a jacket at first, but then I rewatched it and it looks like a hoodie. And then in another clip, I swear they were closer to the center. But now I can't find that angle again. It's like I can see them, but I can't lock them down.
So the presence is consistent, but the details aren't?
Yes, exactly. That's what's messing with me.
Hair, height, build, anything stable?
No, I mean, yes, but then no. I think I know what they look like, and then it just slips.
But you're not doubting that they're there.
No, not at all. Once you see them, you can't not see them.
That's interesting, because the last caller went through the same footage and said there's no one there at all. Nothing unusual in the frame.
That doesn't make sense. I saw them right away.
And yet, you can't describe them clearly.
Yeah, that part's starting to bother me.
Take a second. Don't rush it. When you think back to the footage, what do you actually remember?
Just that someone was there.
Not what they look like.
No, just that they were a part of it. Like they belonged in the scene. But every time I try to focus on them, it changes.
All right. Stay with me, Lena. Don't go anywhere. We've got another caller coming in, and I want to see how far apart these versions really are. All right. I'm going to bring something in here that we haven't said out loud yet tonight. There is a person of interest connected to yesterday's incident. Not speculation, not theory. This is coming from internal reporting and early investigative notes. And here's where it gets difficult. There is no clear footage of them anywhere. Not blurred, not obstructed, not low resolution. They're never fully captured. But this is important. There are multiple points in the footage where they should be visible. You can track movement around them, people shifting positions, lines of sight adjusting, moments where someone is clearly reaching to another person in that space. But when you check the frame, there's no one there. And this is happening across multiple recordings, different angles, different devices, same absence. Yeah, that's exactly it. We've got timestamps where, if you follow the sequence logically, someone is moving through that space, interacting with it, affecting it, but never appearing in it. Now compare that to what we just heard. One caller said there's no one there at all. Another says there's clearly someone, but can't describe them consistently. And now we're adding a third layer, a person connected to the event, who leaves effects in the footage without ever being cleanly recorded. So the question isn't just, is someone there or not? It's what happens when the person exists in a scene, but never resolves into something a system can fully capture. We're going to keep the lines open. If you've seen something in that footage, or if you've noticed movement that doesn't match what's actually visible, call in. Because right now, we're not just dealing with bad recordings. We're dealing with something that doesn't behave the same way twice. You're a GhostLine. Name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Daniel. I'm calling from Baltimore, Harbor East District.
All right, Daniel. You were listening?
Yeah, I've been listening since the start. I think I saw him.
Okay, take your time, walk me through it.
I was there yesterday. Not right at the center, but close enough. Across the street.
All right. What do you remember?
At first, nothing unusual, just people moving, crowd building, normal noise. Then there was a moment where everything kind of shifted. Like people adjusted without knowing why.
Adjusted how?
Spacing, body language, people making room. And there was someone moving through that space.
You saw them directly.
Yes, I did. I'm sure of that.
All right, describe them.
I can't.
You just said you saw them.
I did. I know that. I know I did. I remember looking right at them. Not a glance, not peripheral, direct.
Height, build, clothing?
It was there. All of it was there.
What do you mean?
But it's not staying. It's like I could remember the interaction, but not the person.
What interaction?
He spoke to someone right near me. I didn't hear what he said, but I saw it happen.
You're sure it was him?
Yeah. And the person he spoke to reacted, turned, nodded, stepped back like a normal conversation.
And you're saying you remember all of that, but not him?
Exactly. And the more I try to picture him, the less there is.
All right, stay with that. Don't force it. When you step away from the details, what's the one thing you're certain of?
He was real. He wasn't a gap. He wasn't missing. He was there.
But nothing's holding on to him.
No. And that's the part that's starting to bother me.
Yeah. Stay on the line, Daniel. All right, let's line this up. One caller says there's no one there. Another says there's clearly someone but can't describe them consistently. Now we've got someone who was physically present, who saw the interaction happen, but still can't tell us who he was looking at. And on top of that, no camera can hold him in a frame. So whatever this is, it's not a recording problem. It's not just perception. It's something that exists but doesn't stay. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to look at what all this might mean. Stay with us.
makes your moment shine, 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 shine now,